All right, guys. So we got Greg, which is James's dad from Built-In Race over here.
Hey, everybody.
He's helping us mess with this thing, and like I was saying yesterday in the other video, this is kind of what you used to do, right? Was the big block carb nitrous things?
Yeah, we've done it for several years. Well, that's what I grew up with. That's what you had available was the big blocks, and then you had carburetors, dual point distributors, so it's pretty old-fashioned stuff. So I've luckily been around a lot of it and got to see a lot of the progression of the EFI, which is awesome. But you still got your old reliable carburetors you got to deal with sometimes.
So I was asking him some questions last night on the phone, and he's like, "Hey, are you gonna be at the shop?" I said, "Yeah, we're at the shop." He's like, "Well, I'll just stop by." So what we actually just did, or what he just did, I was telling him, I was explaining the fuel issue yesterday when it was kind of cutting out after going wide open. And he said to double check the floats on the carburetor. And he's like, "Do you know how to adjust the floats?" And I said, "No." And it's crazy. I know how to get on a computer and do a bunch of stuff like that, but something as simple. Well, I've just never been around it.
No, that's it, and that's the thing. A lot of stuff that just kind of with time things go by, and if you don't have the opportunity of putting your hands on it, how are you ever going to learn it?
Yeah.
You're fortunate enough you get something here, now you get to learn something new.
Yeah, well, now we got the right guy in the building. So this one was actually what, like almost a full turn?
Yes, this was a good full turn set low. So your fuel delivery it's gonna hold it lower in the bowl. So in a sense, right here's probably your fuel delivery.
So there's a screw that it's supposed to kind of,
you can see right here on the side. So when you pop this out, this is where your fuel flow is. That when you see it barely trickle out of here by your float adjustment here, then you're maintaining fuel within your bowl.
Yeah. And so it was probably just running out of fuel when we were doing a little pull or whatever.
That's what I'd say to start with and stuff, so at least you got that, and then we'll set the back one, do the same thing here, and then the next thing will be is just to make sure that we're even maintaining the right fuel pressure.
Yeah.
For what the gauge is saying here, because I've had terrible luck with these gauges being accurate. If this is accurate, I'd be really surprised. But
so maybe stick like a GoPro under the hood and like see if it goes down, or get like a different gauge that goes up where we could actually kind of see it as we're driving.
You can do or something that monitors
it's probably off with where it's at right now. Even that it's showing 9, it's probably at 2 or 3.
Right.
Just because the gate, they're not.
Yeah. So that way, if if this is off, then it might need to say 12, which will give you 5 or just whatever. So don't always just take this as being.
Because it's about 9. What you said is a little bit high, but if it's not reading correctly, then that's technically low.
Right.
If it was. Because these gauges are more so reference.
They're just for a reference. Yeah, this isn't something I've tried to do a set. Whenever we've had race pack computers and stuff, so we're always relied on the computer to actually give us a true number when we're setting that and what we're actually going to go down the track with. We'll watch the nitrous system, so it has fuel pressure. But this one here, this is a simpler system, so it's just going to make sure that where we're at is what we have.
Yeah.
So.
And then, so talking about the timing and stuff, 32 degrees, you said that'd be okay for like whacking it with like a 7500 shot maybe?
Yep. Because normally on a big block Chevy, just guessing without really knowing what's internal here, we're taking the man's word with what he's done. I'd run them normally pretty good just for a normal motor stuff out on the street, 36 degrees timing stuff. They seem to love it. So at 32, in a sense, you're already you're just manually pulling the timing out of it. Yeah. And stuff. You could maybe even drop it down to 30 just for a little extra safety. Yeah, a little extra safety. But the problem is too with this, you don't want to get too safe, because if you have too much fuel, too much stuff, then you want to lift the ringlands out of them. Because you're not really burning the fuel, you're just dumping it in the motor and it's pushing through it. But it's a good start. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm excited, and again, today's Thursday, so tomorrow's Friday night. So if we get this thing, we'll take it to the track and make a little play, see what you got,
and then we'll come back next weekend with the nitrous hooked up.
That's
play with that.
See how much of a difference we can.
It's all part of the technology. That's just part of learning and living and being able to do what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's set that float, and then we'll go see if that fixed it.
Let's see what this one here is.
Hi, Lily.
Yeah. Yep. See, you can see it right there, where it's just right there at the top. We'll wiggle the truck. You just see just the fuel right there. Yeah. So it could be just a skosh low, but it's not bad.
You just want a little trickle out of that.
Just a little. was end up being a little lower than I thought too. So
Yeah. So I guess that'll be good, and then we should see if we have the other the fuel pressure gauge, like the actual snap-on one.
How do we? Are we gonna grab this in line?
Or see if it has the little 8th NPT or whatever.
You know where it's at?
Should be over there in the cabinet.
you want to put it in line or take this one out?
Where are you guys going?
Hop in, bud.
Where are you going?
We don't know. Wherever this thing takes us, buddy.
Dude, what did Jimmy's dad say about it?
What are you doing, man? He said it's great.
He said
I
what?
liked it, yeah.
What did he say about the tuning in that breakup?
The floats in the carb are really off adjustment. Got some power. Got some balls, yeah.
Why do you have the NOS on?
Oh, I don't know.
So let's hear it. So C10 is up on the lift. How sketchy was this thing?
It was a little sketchy.
Well, because it's got the big block. We got a
Just heavy,
BBC
and then the
BBC hanging off the front. So we
and
got the little.
frame, like the lift points are pretty like narrow. They're close because if you like the frame, the way the frame is, you know what I mean. It
Yeah.
starts to angle up right here.
Oh, look at this drive shaft.
Yeah, that's great.
So you were telling me about the shock.
Oh yeah, right here. Check this out. So for one, you're not supposed to heat these up. You're not supposed to weld on them. They're compressed. You know what I mean? And,
Oh,
and then
my
we
goodness.
got and those are some great quality welds too.
That is nice.
Yeah,
I do like that.
that's what I was thinking.
That is beautiful. How's this one?
That
Did it just-
that one's great.
did it-
This one separated or something, or I don't know what happened, but they just sent it
Okay.
with the blindfold on and a MIG welder.
Yeah. So this is 73, like a C10, whatever, Chevy front
Front
disc
end,
brakes.
yeah.
But it's crazy that like the upgraded brakes on these things are from 1973. Like we got
Yeah.
disc brakes from 1973. That's
Yeah.
kind of sketchy.
It is a little
And then we got a
sketchy.
welded shock. Maybe you could throw a couple boogers on there too.
No, you're not supposed to weld these. They'll
'Cause
blow
it's-
up.
Okay. Oh, do not heat. Ha!
Yeah, no, yeah. Do not heat, let alone do not weld on it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
And then our
we got
the tie rods are pretty dinked. You know, you can see that boot's from probably 1973, so that's great. Yep, you'll get that though on these.
We got that SF5 fluid dampener though. That's not too bad. I mean, the bottom of this thing looks okay. A couple little oil leaks developed. I don't know where
Yeah,
the
so
oil.
Basically, what was going on was I went over the oil pan and the tranny pan bolts,
Were they
and they were relatively loose.
Okay.
So I tightened everything up, cleaned it off with some brake cleaner, wiped it down. The brake line, the e-brake thing is just doing great right here. If you like check this out, we got stuff hanging, we got stuff zip tied.
Oh, what
You
is
know,
this?
This e-brake.
What is that?
Yeah, it's doing great.
What is that?
I think it's for the e-brake. But what
Okay.
happened was they put this exhaust on
Oh.
it, so we might just eliminate that altogether. I don't know.
E-brake wouldn't be bad.
Or
So it
maybe-
does have exhaust. You can see she turns down for what? Pretty much right here.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. Little exhaust department back here. You can see we got the little shocks, little shock brackets, little lowering kit, and then it has this little track bar thing, kind of keep her centered in the
Work right here.
middle of it. We got these Mickey Thompsons. My brother tried doing a donut in this thing with slicks when they had 6 pounds in them, so they rolled over a little bit. But overall, doesn't look too bad underneath here. We need to maybe come up here and just pound out some of them dents, or all the stuff was back ordered, all the bed sides.
Oh, good.
Yep. So now what? Well, pretty much what Sean did is change the oil, drain the oil, right?
Drain the oil. Yeah, I got to drop it down. We need to get some more. We got 5 quarts. We need 7. You know,
Okay.
we're typically not big block guys, so we're learning.
Yeah. So we need a little bit more oil for it. How'd the oil and everything look good?
It was dark, but it looked good as far as it wasn't milky or metallic or anything.
Okay, that's good. Because that's pretty much like the first oil that's been ran in it since this thing's been machined.
From
So
what we were told, yeah.
yeah. So Yeah, we have a nitrous thing showing up here possibly today, if not probably tomorrow or the next day. But today is Friday night drags, and I'm excited. If the weather holds out, we're actually going to take this thing to the drag races and see how good she rips. And
see who gets a faster pass in it.
What, me or you? I think I'm going to get the faster pass.
You weigh
I'm
100
just
pounds less, bud.
What are you going to do different than me to make you run faster?
I'm gonna rev this thing to the moon is what I'm gonna do.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna rev it to the moon.
So what happens if it spits the rods?
Shift light.
This thing's gonna rip though. I don't know. I think it's gonna do a 12 something.
Probably.
It's probably
It's
about
a big heavy body steel Chevy C10.
big heavy
truck.
unit. So yeah, change of oil. We had a little bit of breakup issue yesterday after going wide open throttle, but that was after we drove it around for about 10 minutes and it was really hot out. It didn't seem like it did that when it was cold. We got some maybe we could bring the go-karts and cruise these around in the pits.
Pit bikes.
Pit units,
cars, yeah.
right there. Yep. So we need to go get some more fuel or some more oil for it, and then I think that's it. You need to put a tensioner on this guy.
That chain is crooked as hell.
Take it for a rip. Hey, how's the weather up there?
A little hotter than it is down there.
Is it? So we have some good news and some bad news about some developments with the C10. And Sean got the oil and everything changed. We need to go grab 2 more quarts of VR1. But the overnight parts that I ordered, which consists of this Innovate nitrous system right here. So check this out. So this is pretty much the same exact gauge that I just put in the Supra.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of like a wideband failsafe for boost and like a wastegate,
For nitrous.
it's for nitrous. So it has a pressure solenoid, it has a relay on it, and so what ends up happening is and it has a wideband too. So everybody in the comments of the last video, us ripping this thing around, everybody said, you don't need a wideband, pull the plugs, do it. I don't really want to pull the plugs all the time. I just want to look at a gauge and
Technology,
say,
bud.
okay, she's good. And then also, I can't pull the plugs in the middle of a run when it's spraying 100 shot of nitrous or 200 shot of nitrous and tell it to turn off. So the wideband, he's sniffing
all the
All of it.
all the emissions, and he's gonna tell it what to do.
He's going to tell us exactly what to do. So this guy gives it a sniff. This guy just says, hey, turn off or turn on.
If it
Or
gets lean or
says you're doing great or you're
keep
not.
going, and yeah, sniff me,
And
then
so-
it works.
But we were talking about the weather up there, but now coming outside. So today is Friday. It's about 2 o'clock. Friday night drags start about 5 o'clock. If you come outside, we got some sprinkles.
So there was a few of you guys in the comments wondering about the Evo, and I thought maybe we can just give them a little behind the scenes, little sneak peek what's going on.
Little sniff of what's going on with the Evo.
See, the thing about MotionAutoTv is we like to get distracted with other things all the time. So we're doing 14 projects at any given time.
You're just repeating that guy's comment.
No, but just a little sneak peek.
Just a sneak. Oh, look at that. Is that a billet camshaft? Woo! All right, that will be a whole other video building the 2.3 liter stroker for this thing, which is coming soon. So right now, goals is we're gonna get the wideband O2 sensor welded in right here on this guy. And then we're gonna get the gauge hooked up on the inside. We're gonna get wired, we're gonna hook up the relay. I also have a fuel, a little T. Check this out.
First thing I'm gonna do is go to the office and get me a fudge stickler, but
So check this out. So this is a little vibrant fitting. It's an 8-an
for the to
female,
T in the nitrous
and
line,
then to
fuel.
T into the fuel because it's a wet shot.
Yep.
And then we also have to pull out the nitrous pills, and we're gonna pill this thing down.
Yeah, it's got a 200 shot in there right now, I said?
200 shot is what he said. So we're gonna probably do 7,500.
150.
Yeah.
We'll see how the AFRs look, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. like 13.7 full rib. Whereas like when it's cruising, when we're cruising it's super rich, and then when you're ripping on it, it's really really lean. That thing's kind of lean. Woo! It's kind of lean. First pass ever. Lower 13s, which isn't bad, but it kind of seemed like it was creeping up like 13.7 towards the end of the track. I didn't really like power brake it hard or anything like that. I was mostly just trying to, you know, get a pass. I shifted about 55 when the shift light came on, and then I shifted a little bit closer to 6, going from second to third gear with the little ratchet shifter. So obviously no nitrous right now. We're at 32 degrees of timing on it. We're it's running a little bit lean on the way here. It was like 13.7 wide open. I was like, whoo! But it's NA, so I think we're kind of doing all right. So we're gonna see what this boy ran on his very first pass. Thank you. 13.4. All right, so that is that's not too bad, you know. 13.4 had a 1.9 60 foot and a 100 mile an hour. So there's nowhere to go but up from here. I know a lot of you guys guessed that it was going to run in the 12s, and the way it felt on the street, I was hoping it was going to be in the 12s. But I think the goal for this truck, I would like it to be able to run in the 11s on the nitrous. So whatever we have to do to get to that, nitrous wise, I'd like to be able to do that.
Hey, how you doing?
You know the cool thing about these C10s?
Huh?
Is everywhere is a camera mount. Check this out. So, you got the magnetic thing.
Oh, wow.
Anything. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, what kind of perspective do we want today? Do we want it right here? Do we want a foot cam? Like, what do we want? Do I want to see the neighbor? Do I want to, like, whatever?
Man.
There it is. Everything. So 13.4.
How's it feel?
At what?
It felt like it at 100 right there.
Right.
1.9 60 foot.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Okay.
It felt like it spun a little bit, kind of coming out, but like
Yeah.
just a little bit. Like maybe I didn't have enough heat,
Just
or maybe
hazed it a little. Well,
Probably
I didn't
these
see any
tires are
smoke
like-
off the burnout either.
Huh?
Like, I didn't see much smoke off
Those
your
tires
burnout.
are 20 years old.
So.
Hey now.
They are. They're 20-year-old tires.
Oh yeah, they're not even like hot
Yeah.
at all.
It didn't look like they were warm.
All right, so
Longer burnout.
longer burnout, second gear burnout.
Okay.
So we're lowering the tire pressure down a little bit. I started off about 15, they went up to about 17 at the end of the run or whatever. But now we're gonna go down to about 11 or so, give them a little bit of a squish. See how she's doing. So we have a buddy out here too. He has a diesel shop and he has a 6.4 Power Stroke that's getting ready to go up over there right now. So maybe we'll get some footage of that.
12.3, 115.
What was it?
14 flat, 97 miles an hour.
Seven.
Do you have that other gauge to eliminate this, or we can just put this on
we
right
just
there?
take it off and put
Alright,
it
yeah, let's
in
take
there.
it off.
Well, on it, the thing is I didn't tighten it. Like, I don't think I like actually tightened it before I gave it to you.
Buddy,
I don't think I did.
you can't be doing that.
No. Maybe it does. Maybe it needs tightening.
Well, do you have a couple Crescent boys, or you bring some end wrenches?
Yeah, we do. Probably need. So the fuel pressure gauge in here. Here, let's check this out. Check this out. See,
fuel from the carb too.
is it leaking from the carb too?
What?
You know, the cool thing is that we got all them Tecton tools.
Yeah,
Okay.
to save us on racing.
And the cool thing about the Tecton tools is we actually have a full set of standard wrenches. You can see these things are brand new. They've never actually even been used by me until we got this thing. So now we got them. But then even right here, we got the standards, we got the deeps, we got the shallows, we got all these. So we're good. We got all the tools that we need. The only thing we didn't bring was a screwdriver. Hey, was it loose?
No.
Uh-oh. Well, maybe, should we just take it out then?
I tightened it some more. It wasn't loose, relatively speaking, but I tightened it more.
Okay. Yeah, because I like smelled it and then I like seen it dripping. I was like, that's probably not great. Yeah, so these tires are literally 20 years old, and I feel like they don't have any like oils or anything in them. So I'm gonna try to do like a really good burnout, but it seemed like when I tried to do a good burnout and shift it to second, it didn't, it was just like stumbling on itself. Also, it seemed like the air fuel, so the first and second gear seemed like air fuel was like 10.5 to 11.5 in first and second gear, like wide open. And then as soon as I shifted to third, it kind of was like 12-ish, going up to about 13.7 by the end of the run. So fuel pressure looked consistent. That's why we had that gauge in there, about 8 pounds or so. But I don't know if we need to ramp it up. I don't know if it liked that or if we should play with timing. Maybe we should put more timing in it and see what it does.
36 degrees, you think?
36, that's where they like it.
We can advance the timing some more. So we don't have a screwdriver for the distributor cap.
Yeah, we didn't bring the thing we needed for.
Let's advance the timing like 4 more degrees.
Let somebody has a screwdriver. We'll find one. The laptop out here today.
Yeah. We got the flathead laptop.
Yeah, we got the laptop. We're gonna figure
can't
this out.
see shit.
So we've never pulled the distributor cap on this thing, and it seemed like it was sputtering, and it wasn't very happy about what we were doing. So maybe there's some moisture in the cap or something like that. Also, now we got a little bit of this rain. Look at that. What do you think of that over there? Well, like there's nothing up there. I just felt the drip.
I did too.
Yeah.
Hey. How you doing? Hey, how you doing?
What are you doing back there?
Oh,
Did you do it?
Cleaning the points on the
points.
whatever you want to call them. I don't know. I'm not a.
Did they look better now? Did you get?
We
them
don't
all?
really have the adequate stuff we need to do it, but
We need a piece of Scotch Brite. We don't have that.
MBT on this gauge itself.
No, it's 8.
I mean 8
That's all
MBT.
it is.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean. Yeah.
that's what it is.
So this is a fitting.
That stays on there.
That stays on the gauge.
That stays on there.
Okay.
So fuel gauge still leaking.
I just don't like this hose. I don't know if it's all these fittings with no tape thread on them or no pipe dope, as some say.
So leaky fuel gauge coming out. That's probably better. We'll just put it over here too, just mostly just for reference. I just mostly wanted to see what it was doing under wide open, and it seemed like it was maintaining enough, so it should be okay. Oh, buddy, you look great in that.
Oh,
it actually looks like it fits you better than it fits me.
Oh yeah.
It does. It looks like it's like a tailored suit. It's just ready. Oh man, look at my poor helmet. It's like it's got some stress cracks in it now. So for the first time in Motion Auto history, Sean is making a pass. Well, actually, I don't think anybody's ever driven one of my cars down the strip other than me. So this is a big moment.
I think it's fair that I work on all of them and build half of them, and you know, how you doing?
So, hey, no, we already showed him the sticker, but Sean's gonna make a pass in this thing, see how it does. I've only made 2. It did 14.0, 13.4, 14.0, and then he's gonna do this and see how she does. So I think this thing ended up running like a 12.2, turned down. Then we got this thing over here, Turbo LS. I'd like to do a Turbo LS in that thing, maybe. Or just play a big block guy. It looks way cooler from over here than it feels driving it. One of these soon. And that's what I need my C10 to sound like.
Add some compression.
And that too, probably.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Ready, let's go. Rip.
The headlights are really bright. That was a better burnout than me.
It ran great that whole time. 13.4 at wide open throttle. I was
Yeah.
shifting at like 58 or 6.
Yeah.
And it, like,
No,
at like that point, it almost like you have to shift.
Yeah.
Like
How was so you said air fuel was about
13.4 at full throttle in second and third.
and then it ran a 13.4?
13.4. 13.4. My reaction time was kind of crappy, but
Yeah, 1.960. So pretty much same as the first pass.
yeah, that was it.
It sounded during the burnout, it kind of had a little cut, but then like it sounded clean.
I got into third gear on the burnout.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it was smoking, so that was good.
I want to go again.
You want to give her another rip?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Should we race?
All right, so now timing is set at 32 degrees for the nitrous, but talking to Greg, he said we could kind of set it about 36 or so. They like that. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen up the distributor. We're gonna is that hot?
The coolant, the heater hose line. Yeah, I need to fight that.
Yeah. So then we're gonna go ahead and set the timing on this thing. John, you blew it.
Slipped off the shifter.
Doing everything for me, so I just want to say thanks to everybody. You
blew it. This thing has sack now.
Does it?
Yeah. You smell light?
Thank you.
Better. 057.
Thanks, Fred.
One night, I think you like rolled out too.
I did. I rolled out the deep
Here,
stage.
hold on, what one?
This is the most recent.
So 14.0 at 98.
Yeah, but I missed that shift.
And I think you tripped the beams too.
No, I didn't. Did
I
I?
think you
Did I
tripped
red
the-
light?
No, you tripped the beams though. I think you like went.
I deep
It
stage.
seemed like you kind of like loaded it up and then like didn't
have enough brake.
have enough, and
Yeah.
then you kind of like, I don't know. It's like you almost caught yourself or something. But
But I got a good light out of it.
do you want to do another one?
I don't know. I'd like to.
Unless. All right, hey, don't mess this one up. think that was a 13.6 at 93, so it's actually getting slower. All right, so had a little issue where it was getting a little hot, and it was actually the belt for the alternator fan belt, all that stuff, it just turned off. So what did she get up to?
All right, now the track goes.
She was at 260.
2.6, that's pretty good. Yeah, we were wondering why it was getting hot. Didn't really think about it throwing a belt, but. So it'll probably be happier now. Successful day at the track. Obviously it didn't get the results that we wanted to with it. You know, I thought it was gonna run like close to a 12 or at least 12, which I guess it was pretty close. 13.4 was the first pass at 100, and that was pretty much, Sean did like a 1/10 of a second faster than that later in the night. But yeah, that last thing, I think throwing the belt, it wasn't happy. Looking at the air fuel ratio right now, on the way home, I just did a pull, and it like, idle is like 10.5, 11.5, somewhere in there, just kind of, it's super rich at idle. And then as soon as you whack it, go full throttle, it like kind of creeps up. And then when you're in like third gear, full pull, I seen 15, which is like, on a turbo car, the rods would have been out of it. Naturally aspirated, I think you could get away with doing that like probably once or twice. So I don't want to hurt this thing. We definitely need to get some jets in it. I was talking to some guys at the track that I know, and James's dad. Again, I appreciate him coming out this morning or yesterday morning and looking at this thing with us. Yeah, it's a cool truck. It's honestly crazy, like the attention that this truck gets at the track. I think it typically, like, this is something that I think everybody grew up on, but I get way more attention sitting in the pits with this. Like, everybody walks by it and they look at the engine and they're like, what is that thing? And hell yeah, that's cool. And I got one of these at home, and you know, like girls and stuff like walking by, they're like, oh, I like your truck. And it's just funny because it's just like a flat black freaking truck. So I would like to repaint it, get it like a hot rod flat black, maybe spend like a day or so and actually paint this thing. But what this does, gives us a baseline for next Friday night drags, the next Friday. And a lot of people were asking me kind of the purpose of the truck. Obviously we broke the Civic, the transmission. I want to upgrade to a billet thing. I want to get a bigger intercooler. I want to change a lot of the setup on this thing. And so I also want something to go to the track with and play around with. And obviously Sean had a good time messing with it and driving with it as well. So I think it's going to be, you know, it's great for content. Honestly, I'm super stoked to be even learning and playing with this stuff, just kind of going back old school. So yeah, really appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Let me know what you think about the C10 content. Look forward to some videos with this thing this week. Hooking up the nitrous, doing some stuff. Maybe we'll throw it on the dyno. Maybe we'll paint it. Maybe we'll do some other stuff. Also, update on Evo Wagon. We'll get some of that stuff out to you guys later this week. Nonetheless, I really appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next video.